You know that cup of coffee in your hand? It's way more than just a morning ritual. It's really the final chapter of this incredible journey, this amazing blend of pure science and, well, soul. So, let's get into it and explore the craft behind that perfect cup.
I love this quote because it really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. Tasting coffee isn't just about figuring out what flavors are in there. It's a personal journey. It's about discovering your own senses.
So to really get this, we're going to follow what the pros call the barista's journey. Think of it as the path they take to master all the little skills that turn a simple coffee bean into something you'll never forget.
I mean, it's so easy to forget how much work has already gone into that coffee before it even hits the cafe. You've got the farmer, the roaster, a whole chain of people. The barista? They're the final steward of that bean, the artist who adds the last crucial touch. Their craft is what makes all that other hard work sing.
So where does this whole journey even start? You might think it's with a fancy machine, but nope. It begins with our own senses. For a barista, their palate and their nose are the most important tools they have, and they have to be trained just like any other skill.
Okay, so this is the official method. First, you just smell, get that aroma. Then, and this is the best part, you slurp. And yeah, that noisy slurp isn't about being rude, I promise. It's actually essential. It sprays the coffee all across your palate. After that, you locate where you're feeling those sensations on your tongue. And finally, you try to describe the whole experience.
All right, let's talk about a really key concept: flavor. We throw that word around all the time, right? But in the professional world, it has a very specific meaning. Flavor isn't just what your tongue tastes. It's this amazing collaboration between your nose and your mouth.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Your tongue, it's actually pretty limited. It can only pick up on these 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. But all those complex notes we love, the cocoa, the berries, the nutty qualities, that's flavor. And it only happens when aroma meets taste. If you can't smell it, you're missing like 90% of the story.
So you're tasting all this complex stuff, but how do you find the words for it? Well, you use this. This is the Coffee Taster's Flavor Wheel. It is basically the dictionary for coffee pros. It's the tool that helps you go from saying, tastes like coffee, to something much more specific.
Let me show you how to use it. It might look a little complicated, but it's not. You just start right in the center with a really broad category, let's say fruity. From there, you move to the next string out. Is it more like a berry or maybe a citrus fruit? Let's say it's citrus. Okay, now you move to the final outer ring to pinpoint the exact note. Is that grapefruit you're tasting? Or maybe lemon? It's like a map that guides you to the perfect word.
Okay, so our senses are getting sharp, we've got the vocabulary down. Now what? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the technical side. How do baristas pull off that perfect, foundational shot of espresso, time and time again?
Well, the secret, it turns out, lies in this classic Italian framework known as the 4 M's. This isn't just art. This is the science. These are the core principles that every single great barista has to master to get that amazing shot. And here they are, straight from Italian espresso tradition. First, you have Miscela, which is the coffee blend itself. Then, Macchinazione, the grinder. Macchina is the espresso machine. And finally, and this one is so important, Mano, the hand of the barista. Every single one of these has to be working in perfect harmony.
But here's the thing, and this is absolutely critical. You can't have one without the others. They're like a 4-legged stool. Think about it. You could have the best Miscela, the most incredible coffee beans in the world, but if your Macinazione, your grind, is off, the shot's ruined. And you could have a perfect grind, but if your Macchina, the machine, isn't holding a stable temperature, all those beautiful flavors are just gone. You can have the best gear on the planet, but it's all useless without the Mano, the skilled barista who brings it all together. A failure in just 1 M means a failure in the cup. Period. And that brings us to what I think is the most important M of them all, the one that truly makes it a craft. The 4th M, Mano, the human touch. The machine is just an instrument, a tool. It's the barista, the hand, that actually makes it sing.
And this is it, the final act of the journey. This is where all that technical precision, all that science and sensory training, it all comes together in one moment of pure artistry, the pour. You can't create a masterpiece without understanding your canvas, right? Well, for latte art, that canvas is the milk. And believe me, perfectly steamed milk isn't some happy accident, it's straight up chemistry. The sugars give you sweetness,
The fats give you that incredible creamy feeling, and the proteins, those are the building blocks for that perfect velvety foam.
Okay, if you take away one thing about steaming milk, let it be this. This is the secret to getting that beautiful paint-like texture. You have to introduce the air, what baristas call stretching or aerating, right at the very beginning, while the milk is still cold. That's how you create those tiny, perfect microbubbles.
So why is the beginning so important? It all comes down to this magic number. Once milk gets past about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, those proteins we talked about start to change. If you try to add air after that point, you're not going to get silky microfoam. You're going to get that stiff, bubbly stuff that's totally impossible to pour art with.
And let's look at what happens when it goes wrong, because it's super common. On the left, you've got under-aerated milk. It's just too thin, too watery. Your design is just going to wash right out. And on the right, over-aerated. It's stiff, almost like meringue. It just plops onto the coffee instead of flowing. Neither one is what you want.
And even when you've steamed it perfectly, there's one final pro-level step. You'll always see pros swirling the pitcher, just like this. They're grooming the milk, constantly folding that gorgeous microfoam back into itself, keeping it glossy and smooth, ready for that perfect pour.
And that brings us full circle, doesn't it? It gets to the heart of it all. A barista's job isn't just to make you a coffee. It's to take all these amazing elements, the farmer's crop, the roaster's vision, the science of the machine, the chemistry of milk, and turn them into something truly unforgettably wonderful.
Because a truly perfect cup of coffee is never an accident. It's crafted on purpose. So the next time you take a sip, I want you to really pay attention. Awaken your senses. What new story are you going to discover in that cup?